Claire from Created the Otter Way. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. Thank you for joining me. We have had loads of new subscribers, so welcome, welcome. This is my craft along video that I try and post once a week on a Friday, just to show you how to make some beautiful makes simply. So we have got something really exciting today. If you have seen my videos before, you know I like a card or a box with a little bit extra to it, so a bit of a wow on the inside. I love fun folds when they do that. Well, this is called a lift and reveal gift box. Okay, so what happens is as you lift it up, what's inside is revealed on there. Now, I haven't put anything in mine because I'm not sure who it's for yet, but you could do all sorts. You could just put a sweet on there, you could put some earrings, you could put, if it's for a wedding favour, you could do a wedding themed thing on there. You could just stick it on with some glue dots just on there, or you can make a couple of little holes and tie it with a bit of ribbon. You can literally use it for so many uses. Also, I was going to put some Velcro dots on there, but again, for a closure, but I'm not sure who it's for with just yet, so that's why I haven't. And it does tuck rather nicely inside as well. Okay, if you're going to use it as a tuck in, I think you might want to punch a little hole there so you've got something you could get hold of. You could attach a bit of ribbon if you want to. Honestly, my brain is whirring with all things you could do with this. So what have I used? I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, so I use their products. Not just because I'm a demonstrator, that's how I got into this, because I love their products so much. They coordinate so easily. The paper that I used is from the Unbounded Beauty set. So if you've got a catalogue, it's on page 53, but there's this beautiful paper here and I've used the green one there. I've also used for the decoration on the top this Unbounded Love dies. For today's one, we're going to go a little bit different. We're going to use the Take to the Skies set. Particularly these papers here, I've gone for blues. Now, I'm aware that blue doesn't show up so much on a video, so hopefully you can bear with me and see. I just wanted to show that it's just not about the flowers. You can make a gift box just as beautiful without the flowers. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to use this design, but in this colour. Ta-da! Night of Navy. So what do you need? Shall I show you the sizes first, because you might want to screenshot that. So it's called a lift and reveal gift box. I have put it in inches and in centimetres, so that should cover everybody. Anything else I need to tell you? I haven't put the designer series paper sizes on there, but I will go through that with you as well. It looks really complicated, but I've made it as easy as I can. So if you watch the video and you've still got questions, just get in touch. That's what I'm here for. Okay, leave you to screenshot that. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest. So if you want to get in touch, that's how you do it. You can email me at createdtheotterway@gmail.com. Okay, shall we craft together? Okay, let's get started. So I've got my paper trimmer. I use a Stampin' Up one because it has got a cut and emboss tool all in one, which makes my life easier. So the first bit of card that we need is 9 by 7 inches. Like I said, I'm going to be talking to you in centimetres or inches. Well, today it's going to be inches just because I've decided today is inches. I'm going with the 7-inch with the top, that's the shorter side, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches. So 2 inches on one side. Now, if you've got one of these, make sure you're using the scorer and not the cutter. So it's the lighter grey. 2 inches, and just give it a couple of little pulls up and down, and you can see it makes a nice score line. Now the easiest thing to do is spin it round and do it on 2 inches the other side. Easy as that. So now you've got 2 inches there and a 2 inches from that side. So we're going to spin it round again, so you've got the longer piece at the top, and we've got quite a few measurements to do now, so you might want to write these down or just watch the whole video through first. Grab a cup of tea and a biscuit and just sit and craft with me, and then give it a go yourself. So if you're following along, you need 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so that's there. Now that's quite tricky because I can't really get hold of the paper here. It's not level. So what I tend to do is spin it round, or whichever way, and do 3/8 of an inch, because you can see there's a bit of a scoring ruler mark here. Find 3/8, then I can put my whole hand on this side and then I can score it. Okay, and it just feels much more comfortable. So when I've done 3/8, I'm going to spin it round so all the other measurements line up. So the next one is 2 3/8, 2 3/8, and then 4 3/8, and then 6 3/8. Now this is a little bit tricky because it comes right in this bit here. So it's not quite to the ruler, but it's not too far from it. So 6 3/8. Okay, and then there's one more which is 8 3/8. Okay. So it's effectively turned your nice rectangle into lots of different boxes. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 squares along the top with these 2 panels either side. Now what I need to do is cut some bits out. So I'm going to cut them and then I'll talk you through what I did. So we need to turn it this way with the wider score line here. So the wider one, and I'm just lining it up on the score line so I know it's 2 inches, which makes my life really easy because it means that I'm definitely in line. I've got my cutting blade and I'm not looking for the first score line but the second score line. So I can see on the top where it's going to cut. I press that down and I just slide it up. Then I can just see, if I show you, it's cut. Okay, and I'm going to do that again on the other side, so I'm flipping it over because it's easier for me to find the 2 inches again, and I'm doing exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so I've got a tab there and a tab there, and now I'm just lining up this line. I could do it with scissors. If you're struggling to figure out what I'm going on about, then just use your scissors. I'll show you in a minute what we did. Okay, so if I bring that, let me move this out the way and you can see. Okay, so I've taken off the first, there's a rectangle and a square, and I've taken that off on both sides and it's left me with this shape. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to turn this round and there's a piece here. Let me fold it so you can see. Let me do that with my bone folder and that'll be nice and creased. Okay, so on the other end you can see there's like this piece here. That's going to turn it into, it's going to make your box much stronger. So I'm going to just cut little triangle off there either side of the score line. Okay, don't pull your card because you end up with a torn piece. Just keep cutting until you get a nice... It's not going to go. I'm going to end up cutting half the card. So what you're aiming to do is cut out a little triangle there from either side of the score line, and then do it again here. Right, let's see if I can do a better job of this one. Looks so easy, doesn't it? Just cut a little triangle out, Claire. Okay, so I've got one triangle from there. Ooh, turn it round so it looks like it came out there, and one triangle from there. They're not even, doesn't matter, because you're just cutting a tiny triangle. And then I'm just going to cut an angle here, just because these are going to fold over and it won't resist if it's already trimmed. Okay, so then I've cut out a little triangle there and a little triangle there. Okay, and breathe. We made it. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is turn it sideways again, and on these score lines here we're going to cut up to make tabs. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer back, just because it gives me a nice straight line. When I try and do it with scissors, I'm a bit shaky. I've got arthritis and it just is not the greatest when you're using scissors. So I always use my paper trimmer if I can. Is that lined up? Let's have a look. So that's made 3 tabs. I'm going to turn it round and do it this side as well. Okay, and then this one. I'm just making sure that the score line is lined up. Okay, let's have a look at that now. Yeah, so I've got all my score lines, and I'm just going to burnish it all while I've got it there. Just going to make it look nice. So I'm just using my bone folder because I can press on the creases much harder than I can just with my fingers. Get a nice crisp box. Okay, and then the last one, these ones are already done. That's it. So I find it much easier to decorate the box while it's flat. Okay, it is a little bit tricky in that you've got to remember where the sides are and which bits you want. So we'll do it together. Now I've already prepped my paper. I have got some rectangles and I will talk you through the size. Okay, like that. And then I've got 3 rectangles and 2 squares. So where do they go? Exactly as where I've put them, okay? This is actually going to be your lid. So that's your lid, and this is the back of your box. This is the front of your box and the 2 sides. So they are the only bits that need decorating, which is great because you don't use too much designer series paper. Now this paper, the size of that is 1 7/8 by 2 7/8. So really easy. How I work that out is my rectangle is 3 inches by 2 inches, and I've just gone down a tiny little bit, 1/8 of an inch, to get the size. And then these 2 squares are 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. Now because I am going on to some navy blue paper, what I've done is I've actually that's upside down, isn't it? I don't know, upside down. I've coloured the core. So along my paper I've just used a Stampin' Up marker, rubbed the pen along, and it's just got rid of the white harsh line. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my paper on. So remember, these are 2 7/8 by 1 7/8. Okay, Okay, so that's going to go there. It really is quite hard to see the navy where the school lines are, even though I've burnished them. I always put my paper down because I find that I use less glue and it comes out more slowly. I was going to say less speedily. More slowly if I've got the paper down. Whereas if I do it up in the air, I've not really got any control and it just floods out and then I get all sticky and everything gets sticky. Okay, so that's going there. And then the reason that you know to do these side bits is because these little tabs here are going to tuck inside your box and just tidy it up. So you know that you're putting it on the right piece because you've got those little tabs. That's going there. Now, a way that you could dress this box up even more is if you layered some card underneath this paper. So on the other paper, for instance, the Unbounded Love, if I'd used some of the green underneath, because the box is white, if I then use some green card and then put the designer series paper, that would have taken it up a notch. So can you see? You just need to adjust your sizes slightly to do that. Okay, now there's one bit I've missed, it's this tab, but there's something I need to do first. I'm going to round the corners so that it gets a nice tuck on it. Now I am very lucky, been crafting a long time and got all sorts in my stash. This is a corner rounder and it just rounds the corner. If you haven't got a corner rounder, what you could use, a penny or some coin or something, or something that's round like this. Get your pencil. You might want a smaller thing on a little tab, but just go round with your pencil and then, I don't know if you can see that, but you just follow the pencil mark round and that gives you a rounded corner as well. So you don't need to have a fancy corner rounder, but it does help. Okay, so I need a little bit of DSP to go on there. Have I got any left? Oh, I've got a bit here. So is that? Is it 2 7/8? I think it is. 2 7/8. I'll tell you the size as soon as I've worked it out. I think it's 2 7/8. Yes, 2 7/8 by ½ an inch, and I'm just going to round those corners as well so that it goes on. Fits nicely in the paper, and then I'm just going to colour the edges because you can see that they're white. When I put it on, it doesn't look as nice. You probably can't see that on the video, but I promise you it looks much better. It just looks finished, especially against a colour such as navy. Okay, so that bit goes on there, and that is now done, and I can glue my box together. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over. These two side pieces come up, okay, like that. This bit comes round. Oh, I didn't score that, did I? Right. Let's do that. I didn't burnish it. And this side, didn't burnish that one either. Okay. So those two pieces will come up like that. These two pieces will come round. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue. So I'm going to put some glue on this tab here. Just like that, just spread it all over. I'm doing both sides at once just because it's easier than trying to put glue on when the box is half made. Okay, so that's going to come around there, and I'm using the tabletop just to help me get a nice angle, a nice straight edge. Okay, I'll do the same this side. Just bring that round and just get a nice edge. Now, if your sizing has been slightly off, or where you've made your tabs, you've cut slightly off, this is where it will notice, okay, just on this edge here. But you don't have to worry because we're going to cover it up with this bit. Okay, so now this is the front. So this piece is going to come round like that. So let's do that piece. So we've got half a box, and we're now doing this. Don't put glue on your little tab, because we're going to do that in a minute. Okay, so this is going to come up and go round, and we just want a nice square box, and we're just making sure that it's stuck in all the corners. Okay, so it's a nice thing. That's going to go there. Oh, look at this, it's coming out all right, isn't it? I like it in this paper. I was a bit concerned that the aeroplanes might look good, but because they're fairly small, it's really looking okay. If it was a big pattern, I think it would be lost because it's a smaller box, but you could upsize this box really, really easily. So when I'm really sure that everything is stuck, I'm just going over it with my bone folder because I can't really get my fingers in there. You're left with these bits, okay? Now we're going to tuck those in to hide all the edges along there. So we're going to do one at a time. Just put some glue on there, like so. So I've got some glue on there. I just push it round and hold it in place. And then when it's stuck, I just use my bone folder just to make a nice crisp edge like that. Can you see? Look at how neat that looks. I'm going to do the other side the same. It's a very forgiving box, this. Looks really good. So I'm just pressing them down with my fingers so they're just tacky. And then I use my bone folder just to get a nice edge. Just along there. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Okay. Now this bit is the last bit for this part of the box. And this one doesn't need to hide anything because it's just folding over on itself. So it doesn't matter. And I'm just pressing that down the same. So whichever side I'm on, my box looks amazing. Look at that. And that's where that could tuck in, or it can go over like that. I feel like that's a bit of a ta-da. Okay, should we do the inside? Okay, so what do we need? We need another piece of card. I'm going to use the same colour. You could use a contrast colour. And what is the size that I need? It's going to be 3 3/4 by 6 5/8. So I am going to do, oh, don't tell me this is one of those tricky ones. Oh, no, it's just past it. So 6 5/8 by 3 3/4. Okay, that looks diddy. It doesn't look the right size, does it? I promise you it is. On the shorter side, you're going to score it in half. So that's going to be 1 7/8. Okay, so make sure you've got your scorer, 1 7/8. Okay, so you can see that that's scored all the way. And then turn it round to the long side, you're going to score it at 1 7/8 and 4 3/4. Okay, so you've got that and that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to cut off these corners, okay? So you're going to go from this score line here to this score line here. So I'm just lining that up on my cutting line. So there to there. Oh, I feel like it moved. It's just me that moved. Okay, so I've cut off a triangle. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to cut it off there to there. Just make sure it is lined up, like so. Ta-da! Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side. I know it looks weird, but you'll see why in a minute. It's so the magic can happen. So that bit, and then this corner to this corner. Is what I find best is if you line up one corner, so one point there, and then hold it in place and move the card around so you get it in line. Okay. Hi Rose, I knew you would come. I was only just thinking, wow, I might get through the video without you coming. Okay, so you're left with that weird shape, but what you're going to do is cut up from the point to the score line. And I am doing this with my scissors. And then the other side, from the point to the score line. Okay. And then this tucks in like that. Oh, look at that. Okay. And now you glue it in place. Hang on, because I just need to finish this. I'm right at the end. If you could please wait, lovely. Okay, it doesn't matter which way round because you haven't decided which way round your box is going at the moment. It's really hard to see where the glue needs to go. Navy on navy. Okay, so that will go there. And I'm just lining up the points. So you end up with that. Okay. Now again, you could shape this in a curve. You could glue it together, the squares together, and then shape it by using the same trick with something circular. But I thought this was stress-free, and I love a bit of stress-free. So that's going to go on there. Now, before I put this in place, I am going to add some designer series paper to it. Hang on, Rose. So I've got a square. This square is 1 5/8 by 1 5/8, and I'm going to cut it on the diagonal. Okay, so there and there. Oh, it's come out like so. And I'm just going to do the trick with the blue again because I don't want it to show up. Just along the edge and along there, along there. Now this is an unnecessary detail, but when you've taken so much time and effort to make a beautiful box, you want it to look the best it can. And I love it when you give it to somebody and they go, oh wow. Don't you? Isn't that the best thing about making cards? The pleasure in making it and then the pleasure in gifting it, especially when it's well received. Okay, so look, what a difference does that make to a plain bit of navy card? All the difference. And it doesn't matter which way around the paper is because it will look good. So that's the corner. Okay, now we're going to put a bit of this paper on the inside. Now I've already cut this and I've already added my blue edge in, so I can just go ahead and stick that in. Oh no, now my worktop's gluey. I have to wait for that to dry and then get it off. Okay, be careful not to put my box on that. So there's one bit. This just finishes this little mechanism off really well. And like I said, depending on what you're gifting, you could just add a couple of little holes and some ribbon to it as well. And now would be the time to do that. Unless, like me, you don't know what you're going to use it for, you can add them afterwards. Okay, so that just lifts the inside of that. Now, how do I attach it? Oh, it's easy. Okay, so this piece here, you're going to glue this piece here to it. So you just put some glue on there, all over one side. Then you stick it on like so. Just make sure it's nice and stuck. And then shall we see if it works? Ta-da! Oh, look at that! So lovely, I love it. Okay, let's quickly do the top. So I've already die cut some aeroplanes, not sure what size will be best. And I've got a couple of frames. And I've got some clouds as well, all from the Take to the Sky set, just because I want it to be a little bit different. Everything's sticking to my piece of paper because I've got glue on it. Okay, I am going to do the Just For You again because I don't know who it's for yet. So Just For You is perfect. And is that going to fit that way, or shall I have it that way? Just For You. There you go. Now, I'm not sure about this. I might add a little bit of detail by doing that. And then the aeroplane could just take off there. And then a couple of clouds there and there. Oh, yes, okay. This is speedy now, so you don't have to watch for too long. Now, what I normally use is the adhesive paper before I die cut, but this was a pile that I had left from another project, and they haven't got adhesive paper on them, so that is going to go there, just in the middle, because that's how it will fit, just like that, just to make it look layered. This one is going to be put on dimensionals, just because, and I'm not putting them too close to the edge because I want to tuck the clouds in. I put that. It there because I remember that plane's quite big there, so half of it will get glued to this there and half needs a dimensional on the back, so that makes it level. So that one side's going to have a dimensional and this bit's going to have a spot of glue, and that's how to make your embellishments level, because look, perfect. Now cloud was going to go underneath, wasn't it? So somewhere there, and then there was going to be one on the top, and I think because this is a small cloud I'll get away without an outer dimensional, but it still looks layered. Does it need another cloud? You're supposed to do 3s and 5s, aren't you? Should we put it under there? Ta-da! Oh, I think we're done. Ta-da! Okay, Okay, let's bring in the other one. Oh, there's another one there. We could put that on the inside. Yeah, let's figure that out in a minute. Okay, let me bring the other one back in. So we've got a lovely flower one and a lovely aeroplane. A lift and reveal gift box. Ta-da! Which one's your favourite? Thank you for watching. I hope you have loved this tutorial as much as I've enjoyed crafting with you. Just drop me a line if you want to get in touch, and don't forget you can shop with me at createtheottaway.co.uk. Thanks for watching.